Welcome everybody once again to a Safe Place podcast, and this week we're going to tell you how you don't have to pay your TV licence. With mental health on the increase, people worried, anxious, scared, ever more in debt,
What's
ever
that,
more
Andrew?
worried.
You don't have to pay the TV licence.
No, you don't. And we're going to give you 10 reasons why you legally don't have to pay your TV licence as long as you follow these 10 steps. So let's talk about some of the myths regarding the TV licence. These TV licence vans that drive around and they can see that you're watching TVs in your home. Load of bollocks. You don't. No one has ever been prosecuted from evidence supplied from a TV licence van driving around
So what happened in the past was there's a few vans with the word TV licence on.
to scaremonger.
A myth was created.
Yeah.
And it doesn't exist. They don't know if you're watching live TV.
They are literally acting like the mafia, scaring people, putting letters through their letterbox, saying that there's vans that can see what you're watching in your house, and they're allowed to literally lie. And this is all fact, people. You can question it all you like, but we've done our research. These are facts that we're coming out with, and we're trying to help you spend less and keep your mental health intact. And lesson number 2 on the TV Licence podcast this week is that if they send you letters saying that you have to inform them that you're watching a television, or inform them if you're watching the BBC, etc., bullshit. You don't have to, do you, Craig?
You don't have to speak to them. You don't have to contact them at all. You don't have to. If you have a TV, you can do what you like. You have no mandatory law that states that you ever need to get in touch with the TV licence company.
How much does it cost to have a TV licence these days? Because I don't have one.
It's 150 something pounds, unless you pay monthly. And this is the thing that's a little bit sad. Unless you pay monthly or weekly, they charge you a bit more. You pay about £300 in the end, so they actually charge you for not being able to afford the one-off payment.
Can't believe it, can you? We're going to get you more into debt and charge you even more because you can't afford to pay us. What a shocking culture that we live in.
We'll add VAT on because you're poor.
So tip number 3, these people are going to come knocking at your door. And what are you going to do about it, Craig?
Well, guess what? You don't actually have to do anything. You can be polite and shut the door on their nose. We wouldn't advocate arguing and rowing and filming them, which you can do. You can legally film anybody on your road or street. Remember, you can have the BBC blaring on in the background as long as it's not live footage, and this is crucial. You can't watch live TV on any thingy, but with Netflix Now TV, is anything live?
So let's look at some of these older people that are literally struggling in between knowing how to pay for their heating this winter or knowing if they've got any money left to buy food. Guess what you can do? Stop watching live BBC. Stop watching live broadcasted television. Get on YouTube. Educate yourself on YouTube. There's great documentaries on YouTube that you can watch. And stop watching TV and save yourself £150 a year.
And they word it in this letter that you get. They word it so they show you Now TV, Netflix, and TV streaming. So you just get bombarded with these. Oh no, it means you can't watch it. It's all about the live TV, and the live TV is the one show. If you watch that, you're a cretin. The BBC News and live sport. So do you know what? Why don't you just give it up? Give it up for Lent.
give up the TV. They also say that they will prosecute you, again, scaremongering, if you're accessing live footage via your tablets or mobile phones. Again, they cannot prosecute you. All they can do is throw idle threats at you. I had, for a year and a half, I was living at a previous address, and I had about 15 to 20 letters come through the post. We are coming out on this day. Make sure you are in. You are committing an illegal act by not paying us for this TV licence. Everything was about scaremongering. At the time, I wasn't educated on the subject. I just thought, I ain't going to pay it anyway.
And just kept watching the World Cup, didn't you?
Then I was committing a crime, ladies and gentlemen. I know it was shocking. I am a criminal because I was probably watching live broadcasted television, whereas now I'm not, and I'm happily not paying for a British Broadcasting Corporation that knew about Jimmy Savile buggering kids for fucking 20 years and did nothing about it. Why am I going to pay them a licence fee?
Can you go without the BBC and it's live news? I'm sure you can. You can read the news anywhere else now. You can see it anywhere else. You don't need any live footage of anything, do you? If you wanted to watch the game, the footy, the rugby, you can go and watch that in a pub now. It's like,
Can't watch it in the pub now, mate. It's been gone. It's locked. We're on tier 3. So when these people come knocking at your door, someone's ringing a bell. Open the door, politely say, I'm not engaging in this conversation, and close it. They cannot get the police. They cannot do anything. They cannot kick your door down. These are just scare tactics to get money out of poor people at the minute.
as it's December, what about if they knock the door, you answer, and you sing them a Christmas carol? It's never been done before.
Never been done. The people that answer the door are the ones that sing the carols. And if they ask you to sign anything, once again, do not sign anything. You literally look. Let's look at the mental health aspect there. They are making you afraid. When you are afraid, when you are scared, you become irrational, and you want to make that fear go away. So if someone's telling you to sign something, you're just going to probably sign it irrationally because you're scared to hopefully make it all go away. The best thing you can do is just look at them in the eyes as you close the door.
And I think this we're getting aware of this now. The BBC on the way out, they're a dinosaur, aren't they?
Dead, dying dinosaur.
You know, let's just kill them off. Let's just make sure they
Kill 'em off.
But they have an agenda. What is the material that you watch on BBC compared to all the other channels? I mean,
I'll tell you what, the only thing that the BBC does pretty good is wildlife programmes. I love wildlife programmes. They are really good, aren't they? But guess what? I can go onto YouTube, I can watch National Geographic,
That's it.
I can watch other monkeys throw poo at each other right on there. So another one of the tactics they use is when they come knocking at your door is to say that they're not part of the TV licence committee that are coming around to check on people. You need to be able to say to them, I want you to prove and identify yourself too. And then what you'll reveal is they'll hold up a card that does say they're from some sort of TV licensing background. Yeah. Again, that's if you want to engage with them.
To be fair, there's some stories on the internet where they are very, almost like a bailiff. They're trying to manipulate you to get you in the house, to clock that you've got a TV, to use all this stuff to say you watch live TV, you've got access to BBC, you have to pay up now, or you're going to go to court, and all these cobblers. And if you're a vulnerable person on their own, like an elderly person who wants to abide by the rules,
you know what? That must be what their percentage is. They must sit back at the end of every month like salesmen, look at the bar chart of age ranges who they managed to get some money out of, and I bet you it's all the elderly and vulnerable.
And the elderly actually go back to the time where they always paid it.
They always thought they had to.
Yeah, it was a bill. Now, you've got a car driving licence, haven't you? You pay for that, a one-off fee at the start, and you don't pay again for that, do you? You're not paying £6 a week for that driving licence, are you?
No.
Now, you're paying for something that you don't watch half the time, and let's just say that you have to technically pay for live TV. You watch a 90-minute football match once a month, but you pay £25 for that service. Is it worth it? Let's just put it into perspective. With all this money from COVID that's going out, and we are struggling, the poverty people.
Yeah.
Let's just balance it out and just think, you know what, we can do.
And spread the word, share the podcast, share it to your nan, because you know what? It's your nan who's going to get exploited by these monsters. And you know what? They are monsters. There is nothing worse than a human being not having the right morality inside of themselves to go around to an old person's house who's not educated on the subject, knock the door and make them feel intimidated and scared, and then probably even get access to the property because the old person thinks they have to. Find out that they've been watching TV and then fine them on top of all the shit that they've been through. These people are moralless business people.
In about 2 weeks' time, there's going to be a nice check going out to your elderly parent, grandparent of £250 to £300 winter allowance, which is going to go straight to the TV licence company because they think they have to pay it.
Yeah, it just goes out of one hand and back in the other hand with the government. I don't want to go down the government tangent too much, but it does. These people do not care about morality. It's all about business.
And if you've got enough money to survive in that climate where it doesn't affect you, okay, but we're talking about the people who can't afford this shit.
The people that close the door and they're living on their own because their husband or wife died that was with for 30 years. The ones that don't get to see the family that much anymore because of lockdown. The people that are struggling to pay for heating. I
know somebody who has not had their heating on this winter and they're sitting around this poxy little old-fashioned fire that I'm amazed it even works, and they're on universal credits because of mental health conditions that make them not get a job in this environment. And this person is sitting there paying his TV licence.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? So one of the other tactics they do is threaten you with the big fine. We're going to fine you £1,000. When actually, when it's recorded averagely, it turns out they fine you the most of about £176. That's if they've proved, that's if they've gained access. Remember, this is important. They need to be able to gain access to your property and witness and prove that you're watching live broadcasted television. This can't happen. They can't fine you if you don't allow them access to your property. They have no legal right to come into your property. They will use suggestions. They will probably have neuro-linguistic programming training, so they'll be able to use suggestion to try and talk their way into your property. It's okay, man. We just had a report that you're watching live television. Can we just come in and have a chat? Boom, it's over. Literally, they just sweet talked you into the house, Margaret. Yeah. Get 'em out. Get your shotgun and get 'em out.
Well, I've actually watched to do some research about this TV license. I watched a video where some guy who maybe some of the TV license people are genuine people. They do this job just because it's a day job and they're just earning wages. Because this one video, the chap was actually really nice and said, no, I've got no right to come into your property, even though you've invited me in. And it was a genuine...
So he was a good guy.
He was a good guy.
One of the good guys.
Like you get the good cops and the bad cops.
Yeah.
So what we're saying, we're not advocating that you have to go out with the camera and do anything, but just know your rights. This is a conspiracy theory that's been going on too long now.
Yeah.
Know your rights, be aware to it, and tell your next door neighbour. If
spread the word.
If you know what they watch Netflix all the time, and they're not watching the BBC ever, they don't even have access to it on the Freeview. They're just happy watching the Now TV or whatever little box they've got.
Just be careful what neighbour you tell, though, because you can imagine Margaret telling Edith. And Edith going, oh, you can't do that. And then Edith gets on the phone and she's like, Margaret's not watching. She's watching live broadcasted television, guys. You have to come down here and rat her out because she's saving £150 a month and I want her out.
Yeah, do you remember the time that she grassed me up for that white bag of powder I had in my hand and it was only Kayla?
So another threat they use, it says this on the BBC website, that if you watch Amazon Live or YouTube, then you need to pay for a TV licence. But they're actually using language here again, once again, to manipulate you. It's only if you're watching live broadcasted television through Amazon or YouTube that you are committing an offence. So again, the language they use is all about manipulating. This is no different from the mafia in the 1930s that would walk round to all these little shops down the street and they would say, right, you can have your shop, but we want 20% of your income. And if the guy went no, he'd have his legs broke. The tactic they use is language. They use language and fear to control you. No different from the mafia. Yeah. And their threats are, by the way, if you don't pay, what we're going to do is we're going to fine you thousands of pounds. We're going to throw you in prison. Basically, just awful, age-old tactics of fear to manipulate people.
Yeah, do you know that it happens in the football news, doesn't it, as well, when a manager, the big headline says, Alex Ferguson attacks Beckham, and then you see that he had an interview where he said that I think he'd played...
It's all taken out of context.
Yeah, and it's just exaggerated. They're using the language of words to highlight in bold writing on letters through your post to say, if you're watching these
live broadcasted
networks, you cannot not pay.
But just
it's a lie.
It is, because you can watch anything you want as long as it's not live broadcasted content. That's it. You are not committing a crime. So the best thing you can do today, guys, is go and cancel your TV license monthly subscription. Go and rip up those letters, burn them, use them as worm feed in the back garden.
Get the experts out and get them to your doorstep and ask those live on camera. You're on your doorstep, ask them all these questions and just say, is it true that you've got any detective vans? And see if they say on camera, no, we've got one. Yeah. One in every area, every day.
Oust all of it. Get it all out. Share it around. And you ain't got to pay that money. That brings us to an end of this weekly podcast where we've just saved you £150 a year.
Yep.
And helped you feel a little bit safer and secure with some intimidating, scaremongering letters that you get through your post.
And you said, don't tell Ethel.
Don't tell Ethel. Make sure that you know your neighbour before you speak to your neighbour, because you know what? A lot of bad Ethels out there. I've met a few of them. Thank you, everybody.